should be out on an event, but all of our events this weekend were canceled. All 6 of them this weekend were canceled. What's up, guys? Check it out. So we're in the office. It's Sunday. We should be out on an event, but all of our events this weekend were canceled. All 6 of them this weekend were canceled. So unfortunately, this whole coronavirus situation is something that's out of our control. We have no control over what's going on right now. What we do have control over is how we handle the situation and how we work on our business during this time that we might not have gigs to come back stronger than ever. I just want to start the video off by saying that by no means am I a doctor or any official that should be giving you, how to run your business or anything like that. This is strictly my opinion. This is how we here at Redmax Events are handling the situation, how we're dealing with our clients, and what we're doing during this time period that now we have no events to stay busy and work on our business so that hopefully when this passes in a month, 2, 3 months, whatever it is, we're ready to come back stronger than ever and continue on with our business. I think your client and employee relationships are very important to keep in mind throughout this whole situation. It's very important to stay open, communicate with your employees. If you have other people working for you, communicate with them. Make sure they are aware of what's going on, how you're dealing with the situation. If you have to cut hours, whatever you have to do to survive and keep the business going so that you're still around when this passes, I think it's important to communicate that with them so that they understand what's going on. In addition to that, the client side is equally important. You want to make sure that you're keeping your relationships with your clients, whether it's a bride and groom that's looking to postpone their event and their wedding, their special day for next year or the end of this year, or push it off a few months. It's very important to keep that relationship and handle this situation right so that they still want to use you for their event. If it's a corporate client, a repeat client, it's even more important to keep that relationship rock solid and handle the situation right, even if it hurts you a little more or you take a hit in the pocket, whatever it is, to keep that relationship healthy so that when this does pass and they plan future events, they're still calling you. I think that's very important. Now, to come off of that, what do I mean by that? I mean, we're collecting deposits on these events. I'm not sure if you guys are. If you're not, something I recommend you do. I think you should collect a deposit on every event you do. The number is proprietary to your business. That's whatever you figure out what works for you. For us personally, we do 20% deposit up front, and that's a non-refundable deposit. It's in our contract. What does that mean? Technically, there's situations where it is refundable, everything like that. We put non-refundable deposit to save us, protect us, because if you're running a business, you need cash flow. That's the most important part. So by working off those deposits and keeping those deposits if an event cancels, that's how you can keep your business afloat during times like this. Now, with that said, to keep that relationship, the non-refundable deposit is something you don't want to just hold on to and tell the client good luck. You want to work with them, and this is a situation that's beyond us, that's out of our control, it's out of the client's control, and you want to work with them to make things right and make sure they're comfortable in the situation. What we've been doing for the clients that we've collected a 20% deposit, if they choose to reschedule their event, we are applying that as a credit to their event. Now note, if they're booking more than a year out, if they're whatever the terms are, prices can change, availability can change, whatever, your training, your skills could change, everything like that is proprietary to this particular time. So I am not guaranteeing those clients that the pricing will be the same. I'm not guaranteeing that we'll have everything in their package available. Whatever it is, you want to make sure you're very open and that you communicate with your clients just as much as you do internally in the company. But I think it's important that you do offer them, if they paid you $800 as a deposit, you offer them that $800 towards their future event or their rescheduled event. On top of that, what do you do if a client pays in full? Now, this is a tough situation. I think each one has to be handled in its own matter. Depends on the amount of money that was paid. It depends on the type of event, when the event is, if they're postponing it, if it's totally canceled. Depends on what the situation is. We've had a few events already that were paid in full and were canceled or postponed. One of them was completely canceled. They don't plan on rescheduling. All I was able to do was refund everything but that 20% deposit. That is still our non-refundable deposit that we are keeping to cover our costs, our labor, our setup for the event, everything that we already went through. That kind of covers that. However, again, out of just being professional about the situation and trying to make it right for the client, I chose to refund them the remaining amount. Now, we had another corporate client that's their event's coming up in a week and a half, and they called us up, very sorry, we have to cancel because of obviously the situation going around in the world. They were paid in full, everything like that. This event, unfortunately, is not going to happen. They said, is there any way we could put this amount towards a future event? I said, not a problem. That's what we're, it's our policy right now. That's what we're doing, is we're applying that towards a future event. So in their case, I didn't actually have to give back the full amount that they paid besides the 20% deposit. They're actually having me keep the full amount, which again comes back to our cash flow, running our business and everything like that in the meantime, so that we can get through this. And now down the line, when they reschedule, we're gonna put that amount towards whatever their new package is. We've had a few corporate clients that have canceled altogether. What I did offer them was, again, if they do schedule a new event, I'll put that 20% deposit towards that to keep that relationship solid. If they're not, and it was a one-time thing, unfortunately that 20% deposit is lost on their end. That is to cover our internal office expenses, any work we put into that project so far. And again, if they fight it, it's something you might want to consider giving back to them to keep that relationship good. But again, that's totally your decision. It depends on the situation, the event, the amount, everything like that. Now, what are my thoughts on the coronavirus, how long it's gonna last, what it is, everything like that? The media is blowing it out of proportion. That's what I think. I personally think that the media has taken this out of hand a little bit. I think most of what they were publishing for a while was all of the negative stuff to come with it. And don't get me wrong, this is a real situation. It's bad. It's, people are dying. I don't want you guys to take me the wrong way. But the facts are out there too, and now they're starting to release those numbers that a lot more people have recovered from this or just had flu symptoms or whatever from this coronavirus than those that actually turned to something more serious. And what did that lead to? I think that led to the media putting that out there and people starting to really panic. It's clear that it's serious. It's clear that we're taking action and something is actually very bad out there, because if it wasn't, we wouldn't be closing schools, we wouldn't be closing restaurants, we wouldn't be canceling events. That stuff just would not be happening if it wasn't something serious. So there is something to be said for that, but at the same time, we have to fight through this. We'll get through this and we'll come back stronger than ever. Now, what we're doing here at Redmax during this time while we're off a little bit, things are a little slower. We don't have the jobs. We don't have the weekend events and stuff like that. So I'm trying to spend time here or at home working on the company and working on things to make the business better when we come back. Most of these events are getting postponed, and what that means is that they're getting postponed till a few months out, a year out. They're getting postponed just right around the corner when our normal busy season is. So we're already busy. We have events all these months, and now everything from March is getting pushed into April, May, June, July, August, September, which are already busy months for us. So it's important to make sure you could staff that, make sure you can do everything you need to accommodate all these events that are gonna now be pushed back, providing that this passes over in a month or two. And the longer this goes on, the more that these events are gonna get postponed and bunched up into 1 or 2 months. And it's gonna be a lot to handle. So we're really thinking about what we can do now so that we're prepared for that. And what can we do now to make our business more streamlined, working on contracts, working on our invoicing and CRM software, working on scheduling, maintaining equipment, reorganizing the warehouse, building things to, make it easier back there to load the trucks, that kind of stuff. But we're just kind of re-engineering the business now while we have this slower time, so that when it gets really crazy and busy, we're ready for it. So that's my take on the whole coronavirus situation. I hope you guys took something from it. My good friends DJ Bar and DJ Woopig also put out videos on this, so I'll try and link to those up here or down in the comments. I'll put a link somewhere, but if not, make sure you guys check out their channels and watch their most recent videos too, because I think it's very important to see how different companies and different individuals are choosing to handle this situation. The numbers are going to vary for all of us. If you're running a single op DJ company, your numbers might be a lot smaller than a production company that's losing jobs that are well over 5, 10, 15, $500,000. There's festivals that are being canceled. There's some serious events being canceled. And there's a big spectrum of companies that this is happening to. So whether you're a single op company and you're losing these small weddings and private events, or you're a larger production company losing these more expensive corporate events, it's very important that you look at your financial situation too and make sure that you can get through this and cover your overhead, your staff, whatever you need to survive this time. If you don't, maybe it means cutting your hours or not working with the lights on or doing something to make sure you can get through this. Again, we don't know how long this is going to last, and that's the scary part for our industry too. This might bankrupt some companies and put some people out of business if it's something they weren't prepared for. And it's not something we can prepare for this particular situation, but I think if you're running a business, it's important to always prepare for something like this. You never know what could happen that could cause you to withdraw a lot of money from your account or not have jobs coming in for a little while. I think it's very important to see the different perspective on this situation, from production companies to DJ companies to event decorators to photographers. Everyone that's involved in this event industry is going to have a slightly different take on it, and it's going to depend on their numbers and their margins and what their deposits were and what their contract says and everything like that. But I think it's important for you to kind of see the different sides of it and then choose what's best for you and your business and how you can approach this, again, to maintain that client relationship and also make sure that you have enough money in your account to get through this and come back stronger than ever. So thank you guys for watching. Once again, Brandon Havrilla with Redmax Events. I wish you guys the best with your business. Keep pushing on. We'll get through this.